good afternoon everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again for another review. Running a little late at the moment with the reviews, but I am working on it. Good news is I'm pretty much recovered from the illness which knocked me over for almost a month. So hopefully we'll get back on track with reviews. Where are we? We're in Europe. We're in southern Europe actually. We're in Austria. And this is Innsbruck International Airport in Austria. Lima Oscar Whiskey India. This is the version by Inibuilds, the recently released version. Obviously a competitor to the version released by ORBX some time ago, which to some extent has been a stable for those of us that fly in here. So this is a payware scenery by Inibuilds. We're looking at version 1.0.1. They released a small update. And this is for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. The download comes in at 3.43 gigs and it installs at 5.4 gigabytes, so it's reasonably hefty. It's available from both Sim Market and the Inibuilds store, and its prices are the same. It's €21.59, which equates to roughly $23.39 US or £18.16 UK. As ever, US and UK prices are estimates taken from the euro, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which may vary depending on where you make your purchase. And as I've said before, I will let you know if a scenery is compatible with Flight Simulator 2024, and this version is 2024 compatible, so you can use this scenery in the new simulator. It's a lovely piece of work. It looks every bit as good as ORBX, but I think there's more to this, and we'll see how it goes. So that's the introduction for you. Let's have a look at the features of this scenery. Okay, features. So many of the features are typical of Inibuilds, and they're always sort of standard included in their features, but we'll discuss them anyway. You have handmade ground textures with crisp bespoke texture sets. They include runways, aprons, paths and roads. True-to-life airport landside recreation with custom ground decals, signposts, vegetation, parking barriers and more. Accurately modelled and positioned dynamic airport lighting. Highly detailed models of all airport buildings, objects and surroundings. Up-to-date airport layout reflecting the current real-world location. You also have an official GSX profile included. You can find it in the scenery folder, or if you've got the scenery from Inibuild and you use the Ini Manager to install the scenery, you can install it there. The level of detail, or LOD, is optimized for every model to encourage the best performance possible. Use of the latest Microsoft SDK features to allow for best optimization and performance. You have custom static aircraft. Full Ini Manager compatibility to configure your scenery for the best possible performance for your system. Bespoke taxi signage as it is in the real world. They've also included various POIs or points of interest, including the Bergisel ski jump, Christophorus Heliport, Innsbruck University Hospital and Helibad, the Tivoli Stadium and Arena, and so many more issues. And as I've said, this scenery is also fully compatible with Flight Simulator 2024. So there you go, those are the features, quite extensive, there's a lot to see here. Be interesting to see what's modelled. So let's talk some history. So history for you. Innsbruck Airport, Lima Oscar Whiskey India, also known locally as Kranbitten Airport, is a public use airport owned and operated by the Tiroler Flughafenbetriebs. It is the largest international airport in the Tyrol region in western Austria. It's located approximately 2 miles or 4 kilometers from the centre of the city of Innsbruck. The airport, which was opened in 1925, handles regional flights around the Alps as well as seasonal international traffic to further European destinations. During the winter, activity increases significantly due to the high number of skiers travelling to the region. Innsbruck Airport served as the base of Tyrolean Airways and Welcome Air until their demise, although the newly established independent technical division, Tyrolean Airways Luftfahrzeuge Technik GmbH, remains at the airport. Innsbruck is also used to accommodate the head offices of Air Alps. The terminal has no jet bridges. Instead, mobile stairs are used for boarding large aircraft that don't have their own air stairs. Airport can handle aircraft up to the size of a 767. In February 2017, it was announced that the current passenger terminal, which was inaugurated for the 1964 Winter Olympics, will be replaced with a new, larger facility, with construction having begun in 2019. Innsbruck Airport is well known for having a difficult approach due to surrounding terrain, prohibiting certain aircraft types from operating at the airport. The approach and descent is a very complicated process, with the Alp mountains creating vicious winds and currents, which pilots have to deal with throughout the process. The airport sits in a deep valley surrounded by high mountains and is classified as Category C, an airport with special difficulties requiring pilots to have special training and to be licensed to operate into it. It's often referred to as a captain's only landing. Approach or ascent over the eastern end of the runway goes over the inner city at fairly low altitude and is a real challenge in low visibility conditions. Currently, some 19 airlines operate into and out of Innsbruck, some seasonal and some on a charter basis. So there you are, that's history for you. It's a place that's been around for a while, very popular with skiers and also with mountain hikers during the summer months. A very beautiful little airport nestling in what, as you can see, is a beautiful valley. So that was history. Let's have a look at the runway situation here. Okay, so runways. I've lowered the lighting to 4:15 in the afternoon. It's the 25th of November 2024, and as you can see, we're looking down at the runway through the beautiful mountains. Let's talk about it generally first. Innsbruck Airport operates a single runway, 2608, measuring just 6,562 feet or 2,000 meters, and is constructed from asphalt. The airport lies in a deep valley at a high elevation of 1,907 feet or 581 meters and sits within the GMT UTC plus 1 hour time zone. Now, Austria, like the UK, does indeed observe daylight saving time, and with both the UK and Austria having returned to DST, Innsbruck remains 1 hour ahead of the UK. So we're looking down the throat of runway 26 on the approach path, and before we look close at the runways, I wanted to show you some of the things which the pilot looks for on the approach to this runway. The last part of the approach is visual. There's a localizer here and an RNAV type approach as well. But the last part, as you can see, is basically it's going to be visual, and there are three things that the pilot looks at. First of all, here is the flats, the block of flats, which identifies the location on the approach. Secondly, you have the lead-in lights, often known as the rabbits. As you can see, they flash in towards the runway and they assist the pilot in locating it. And then finally, close up, you have the precision approach path indicators here. So these are the three main features that the pilot looks for on a final approach to runway 26 at this airport. So let's get a little closer to the runway. So this end of the runway, runway 26, features high-intensity runway lighting, centerline lighting, touchdown zone lighting, runway end identifier lighting system, and precision approach path indicators on the left side. Now, interestingly enough, from here, first thing we can see, it's all pretty much alright, but they are missing the runway end identifier lights. There are two white lights that flash either side of the runway that don't seem to be there. And also from here we can't see any touchdown zone lighting. Let's get a little closer. So as you can see, here we are right up close on the threshold of runway 26, and you've got some lighting here at the threshold of the runway, but there should be two white lights flashing either side of this runway, which are runway end identifier lights. They're missing, and also you can see touchdown zone lighting is missing, and the chart specifies both of these. I'll put the chart up so you can see. Approach is here, right, so I mean this is quite an interesting sort of situation here. Runway 26 approach options, you have a localizer R approach option, you have an RNP East approach option, which is LPV only, and there's an RNP Z approach option. So when you look at the charts, there's at least 4 or 5 different charts to give you an option to land on this runway, and the runway is slightly offset from the approach options. In addition, we'll talk about the unspecified options in a minute. Let's go and have a look at the other end, runway 08. So here we are looking at the other end, runway 08, and that also features high intensity runway lighting, centerline lighting, your touchdown zone lighting as well, basically simple touchdown zone lights, and you have PAPIs as well. And the PAPIs are on the both sides. According to the charts I'm looking at, it would appear that the PAPIs are on both sides, and of course here we've got them in the scenery. So no runway end identifier lighting at this end, but there is touchdown zone lighting, which should be about here, and it's missing. So there you are, that's the situation there. Approach options available here for runway 08. You have an RNP, Y and Z approach options. And this runway has unspecified approach options. You have localizer DME East, the special localizer DME East, and the visual approach and circle to land options. It should be noted that this airport operates between 06:30 and 8 PM local time, with hours extended to 11 PM local time for certain types of aircraft arrivals only. You need to check the charts and sort of check local things, but for those of you who want to sort of have it as per the real world, that's the situation. The airport's open between 6:30 in the morning and 8 o'clock at night, with arrivals coming in until 11 PM for certain types of aircraft. So that's a runway situation for you, a nice short runway in a deep valley with an offset approach. It's always been a challenge for the real world pilots, and it's just the same for you and I, the sim pilots. So no jetways at this airport, it's all parking with stairs. Let's get down to the main tour and have a good look at this airport and see how it compares. Okay, so here we are at Innsbruck. No jetways to test as such on Innsbruck. Well, we've got the aircraft parked here, and what I'm doing, this is GSX, putting the stairways up. So we just check to see that that's okay and it works alright. I have to say the default PMDG stairwell also works pretty well, no problems there at all. So the front door's connected and opens up. There goes the rear door. Well, the door actually hasn't opened up, so we'll probably do that in the menu. Oh, there it goes, the door is being opened up. So there's a close look at the front door. And there's a close look at the rear door. So now let's see if we can get the baggage loaders to work. Okay, so as you can see, the cargo loading works, even though the vehicles do seem to go through each other. But it all looks pretty good. There's the crew bus on the other side. So there you go, quick look at the stairwells and see GSX working here at Innsbruck.
Pilot's boarding starting.
There go the flight crew. And on the other side there you can see the baggage loading, baggage trucks coming along as well. So there you are, just a brief look at GSX doing its thing here at Innsbruck. Now let's get down to the airport proper and have a close look and see just how good it is. Okay, so we'll start the main tour, and just for a change I'm starting at the very eastern sort of, well, at the very western end of the valley. This is runway 08 here that we looked at a moment ago when we finished up with runways. There's a lot here. If you have the world updates installed, you know, you've got really good scenery for Austria. And Inibuilds have enhanced certain parts of it. There are buildings here and bits and pieces around the airport and the surroundings that have been modelled and added to make the place look really good. The scenery's pretty fluid. As I get towards the terminal area, I get a bit of juddering, but you probably won't. It's not really going to be too bad, I think, when you're flying in here. So let's do a low pass, sort of west to east across the airport here, and you can see what I mean. So, I mean, this whole valley looks beautiful. I mean, you look at the, you've got a cargo facility down there to the left. The roads are nicely modelled. It's hard to see what's been enhanced by Inibuilds and what's been part of the default. I mean, it's pretty impressive. So you have the cargo facility here. Look at the road system and more bits and pieces over here. I mean, all this that's been added and modelled. And it's very, very nicely modelled, I might say. Here's the road that goes round. Here's the river. Runway 08 threshold there. And it's really nicely modelled and textured. The grass areas look great. I'm going to try and see if I can add some snow here and see what that looks like in a bit. So before we go on anything else, I said I'd show you what it looked like with the snow, so here we are. It's minus 9 degrees here today, late afternoon. Snow depth's about 13 centimetres. And this is what the airport looks like. And yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? It really is. There we are looking down the rest of the valley. Here you've got the road here. This is runway 08 threshold. And here you can see the main ramp, which is clear. I wonder if it gets any worse if I up the snow level. Let's have a look. Okay, so here's the same view. Temperature's now minus 15, which I think is what it might well get down to here in this part of the world. The snow depth, I've increased it to 75 centimetres, which is getting on for sort of 30 feet. But as you can see, it's not an awful lot of difference. The ramp looks a lot colder here because it's obviously going to be very icy with minus 15. There's a view of the terminal land side. There's a slightly higher level view showing you the runway, which is clear. And finally the beautiful view down the rest of the valley there looking towards the west. So there you go. That was just a quick look to see what it looks like into the snow depth. Hope you enjoyed that. So as we get closer to the airport, here's the airport proper. As you can see, the scenery judders a bit, but it's not too bad. There's my aircraft parked on stand 7. And even from here, detail looks pretty impressive. Private jet area down there, control tower. Lots to see landside as well. And as you can see, once you get past the terminal complex, the frame rate does improve. And there you've got sports stadium down there. But I love the detail. And again, it's almost impossible to see what's been enhanced by Inibuilds and what's part of the default because this area just looks so good. So we head across to the north side of the airport, and again, I mean, look at the development. The tree-lined avenues are beautiful. And here you've got more development here on the other side. Well, the roads are fantastic. Got a feeling this is going to look really good in the darkness hours. But as you can see, the buildings on the north side of the airport have been also nicely modelled and textured. Lots for you to explore here if you fancy getting a helicopter out. But I love the tree-lined avenues, really beautifully done. It's very, very nice. Even street lamps down there, traffic lights. As we continue west, there you've got general aviation down there below us. And it all looks pretty real. I just really love the way it's been done. Okay, so here we are on stand 7. Here's my aircraft, the Phoenix Airbus A320. Time to have a closer look at the important part that you pilots are interested in. So as you can see, the main ramp, there are no jetways. The roads are nicely done. You've got this Innsbruck passenger bus in front of us. Beautiful concrete textures here with the appropriate oil stains. I mean, it all looks pretty nice. So there's the main terminal building, and as you can see, we've got people standing on the viewing area at the top here, and there's internal development, which we will have a look at later. And looking down the other part of the ramp, as you can see, no expense spared here for the detail. The roads are really good, and to be honest, it looks like you've got little bits of sort of like icicles melting here. This is the way the road typically looks when you've had ice and some of it's melted, and it looks like it's sort of semi-gritted. You've got the various vehicles here. I've got a couple of static aircraft, really nicely modelled, I might add, and it all looks pretty impressive. So a close-up look at the terminal here from the roadside, and as you can see, we've got animated passengers in there, and some quite impressive detail. We'll have a look in a bit. And looking in the other direction there, you can see the building is really well developed. So let's go have a look at the control tower. So here's the outside of the airport, nicely modelled and textured. It looks really quite good from the outside. There does appear to be internal detail inside the tower. Let's have a look inside. And there you go, a fully detailed and textured internal part of the control tower. Looks fantastic. The only thing it's missing is a controller or two. Sometimes I'm at a loss to understand why a developer goes to such lengths to put animated people in the terminal. It looks great. And they don't have a couple of statics in the control tower when they've gone to this level of detail. That I find really surprising. But here's a nice shot in the other direction. There you can see the glass effect, which I think is really quite impressive. And just a last look landside, and even the floor's been done, and there you've got the stairwell going down to the elevator, which is very impressive. It's nicely done. So here you've got private jets, all part of the scenery, and another passenger bus here. And again, some really nice buildings and details. Here you've got cargo pallets. It's great. I could no complaints. It's beautifully done. A quick look from the other side, and as you can see, the models, the private jet models are really good. You've got a Learjet down, or 2 Learjets here. And interesting registrations, a German one there, cold. Very nice indeed. So have a little look landside here. As you can see, when you get to the terminal here, it's a bit juddery. But I don't think it's the scenery per se. I just think I haven't quite got enough oomph to run it. But as you can see, there is the odd people around in the car park. Car parks look good, actually. They really do. You got landside of the terminal. It gets a little bit better here. The trees are beautifully. The foliage has been wonderfully done here. You got the ground markings. A couple of helicopter markings there. That's interesting. In the roadside. But as you can see, no expense spared, people around the car parks. This is a beautiful scenery. I'm leaning towards this over the ORBX version. This has got more detail. I'm going to have to fly in here and test the frame rate with the Phoenix. But I think coming into land shouldn't really be an issue, or taxiing off. Certainly from inside the cockpit we'll see. But as you can see, beautiful building textures. And everything's been added, nothing's missing here. So here you've got the snow equipment, which is a must for this airport, as you can imagine. And here we've got a blast screen enclosure where people do engine runs on aircraft, and we've got a private jet in there. But again, look at the detail on this building. So a quick close-up of the landside here. I mean, the cars are brilliant. Not much in the way of repetition. The people models are really good. Cars are in their slots, nothing really sticking into the terminal or anything like that. There to the right you can see the multi-story, which has lighting in it as well. And here, just a closer look landside here. And the detail is wonderful, it really is. It'll be interesting to see how this looks in Flight Sim 2024. If anybody's got it and had a look, maybe they'll let me know in the comments. But as you can see, again, no expense spared. It's beautiful. And we've even got a wheelchair passenger down there. Very nice indeed. So here's the departures building, landside. Let's pop in and have a look. And there we go, people in front of the check-in desks. Again, beautifully modelled interior. I'm just looking the other way. And a view looking the other direction. So this all looks pretty nice. Okay, we don't have any check-in agents behind the desks, which is a pity. One more static model or two more static models would have been nice. But again, the detail's fantastic. Look at the reflections in the roof. So we'll take a little look this end. Again, you've got more people. This, I think, is security. So there you go, security, X-ray machines, archways, no staff, but then, as you can see, airside, you've got people there in the airside lounge. So that's a quick look airside. So it's really nice. Animated people, they look great, they really do. The only problem is you've got that guy going through the tensor barrier. There you've got various shops, and yeah, it's lovely. I think they have the right balance of people, animated and sitting down. It just looks very nice indeed. And as you can see, even close up, the people models are excellent. They're really good quality. And the whole thing is done really nice. And look at the floor detail here. There's my aircraft out on stand 7. It's very nice indeed. So we're back airside. Quick look at taxiway signage and stuff for the daytime. Here you've got the various markers towards the runways. Blue airfield edge lights there. And here you've got more signage. Again, you have the runway direction markers. Here are the blue edge lights that go all the way around. Runway signage there. There you can see the main runway signs entering the runway. We've got wigwags, and we'll have a look as we go to dusk to see whether they work. Okay, so that was a brief look around the airport during the daytime. There's lots more for you to see, which I will leave for you to see. I don't want to make the video so long because there's loads of stuff to see off airport as well. So let's bring it down to dusk now and see what the main area looks like at dusk. Okay, it's 4:30 in the afternoon local time. As I said, it's winter here now. It's 25th of November 2024. The lights came on about 5 minutes ago, and as you can see, I mean, it looks beautiful even from here. The ramp lighting's good. Blue airfield edge lights show up quite nicely. The main areas that you need to see that need to be lit properly certainly are. You've got lighting, huge lighting here on the car park. And you've got lighting here as well. So let's have a look in the flight deck. So here we are, we're in the cockpit of the Phoenix Airbus A320, my aircraft. We're on stand 7, and here you can see the view that you'll get when you finally park up. There's some very nice subtle lighting in the terminal, I have to say. This is typical Inibuilds. It's been beautifully done. It really is nice. View from the captain's side. Note the sunset on the mountains there, really is nice. And the view across the first officer's window. This is a lovely scenery. So just before we go to the main terminal area, I just wanted to show you this area here. It's a good example of how well they do the lighting. Here you've got this sports stadium drome here, and various off-airport buildings here, all beautifully lit. Some very nice subtle lighting down here. Some parallaxing going on, and we've done a wonderful job. So let's tour the ramp airside. It does look good, doesn't it? Okay, a little bit of juddering, but I think I can deal with that. I mean, it does look good. Again, plenty of good subtle lighting. And it's only the main terminal area there that really judders. As you can see, the judders get a lot better out here. It's very nice. Very subtle, beautifully done in terms of lighting. So we go landside. Oh, it's lovely, it really is. There's the snow base down there. So as you can see, again, very, very nice subtle lighting. And the car park is great. Again, all the cars in their slots, nothing out of position. Very nicely done. Well, you got road signs, and it's amazing. Lots for you to see and explore off airport as well. It's beautiful. So just a couple of quick landside shots so you can see what's going on here. I see you've even got this static guy here. And here you've got tennis courts. Sportanlagen, this is a sports area. Again, beautifully done. No sobo glows floating around. You've got proper lighting. There you've got what looks like a hotel there. You've got the car park as well. Again, a nice selection of vehicles, a good variety. And we've got a couple of people here as well in the car park. There we are, quick look landside towards the main terminal area. Here are the road signs and various other signs, all in German. And yeah, I mean, it looks great. It's wonderful. Very, very impressive. So let's head back airside, have a close look. So here we are, Flughafen Innsbruck, or Airport Innsbruck. Here we are in front of my aircraft parked on the stand. Nice to see these vehicles also have lights. And you can just see people moving inside the terminal there. There's some very nice subtle lighting going on. Looking in the other direction, as you can see, the light is being provided by the correct light source. These big lamps just do exactly what they should. There's a control tower with some internal lighting, and also you've got the mandatory red lighting on the top, which is excellent and missing in so many sceneries. Just a pity we haven't got a couple of figures inside. There's a quick look across to the north side. You've got lighting over here on the general aviation area too. And here you've got some really nice lit signage. Let's have a look and see if the wigwags work. Well, they don't work as such, they don't flash on and off, but they are lit. But yeah, and you've also got green centerline lighting leading you off the runway. But you know, all looks good, no complaints. Okay, so everything looks pretty impressive. Let's bring it down to night time now. Now 11 PM is the last time the airport is open until for special flights. So let's do it at 5 minutes to 11 PM. Okay, so it's 22:55 local time, just 5 minutes before closing time. And as you can see, the night is upon us. And the ramp lighting looks great. You've really got no problems if you have to come in. You've got turning areas at both ends of the runway for those aircraft that are slightly bigger. and you've got an exit here as well for runway 26. Ramp lighting looks really good. There's no real complaints here at all, and the airport itself is beautiful. And there's the north, the north side. It's on the other side of the runway. The lighting is lovely. It really is. It's a very, very beautifully done airport, especially the off-airport work. There's lots of attention to detail here. You know, the Inibuilds scenery developers are really hitting the mark here. So there we are, looking to the east. This is the approach path coming down the valley. As you can see, plenty here off the airport for you to have a look at and explore. So here's the night view inside the aircraft. I mean, it's lovely. Really is nothing much else to say about it. It's beautiful. Again, you can see the subtle lighting here inside the terminal. You can still see people moving. It all gives a certain sense of ambience that something's going on here. It's good. It's going to be great when you pull up here and park up. So just a quick view looking west across the main ramp. As you can see, the lighting goes on all the way up to the very end here. You've got the blue airfield edge lights denoting the taxiway. There, a quick look in the other direction, and you know what I like about this is the lighting is wonderful. Not an Asobo globe in sight. They've done a wonderful job here. A quick look across landside. You've got this really nice effect where you've got LED lighting here and the tungsten type lighting here, which gives us different sort of glow. It's beautiful. The control tower is nicely lit here, and you've got the glow from the red lights on top of the tower, which is wonderful. So there you are. That was a quick view at night time. It's great. The lighting is wonderful. It's one of the nicest lighting developments I've seen in the scenery for some time. So I position myself. The sun should come up behind me. Let's bring the dawn up and see what the effect is, if any. Okay, 8:30 in the morning. The sun is coming up behind me, but it is obscured to a great extent by the mountains, so you're not getting the kind of red glow that you sometimes see on sunrise and other sceneries, because the airport is shrouded here. But this is how it looks at dawn. Lights went out about 6 minutes ago, and it looks lovely. There's the GA apron here on the north side of the runway there. And there we are looking down the valley, and the sun comes up over here somewhere. Okay, so here we are. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're looking sort of towards the south. Here's the runway 26 threshold. There's the terminal area and the north side area and the city itself. Time to wrap the review up and give you my thoughts. Do I like it? Yeah, absolutely. Is it better than the ORBX version? I think it's a significant improvement on the ORBX version. For those of you who've got the ORBX version, you know, it's good. There's no problem with it at all. It's a great scenery, and if you want Innsbruck in detail, ORBX will perfectly satisfy you. But if you want an upgrade, well, Inibuilds seem to have achieved it. Not only have they got the airport done in every detail, and internally inside the terminals, some beautiful subtle texturing all over the place. You know, you've even got, look, little buses going down here along the roads. They've done that. Everything's textured. They've modelled significantly off airport, which you've got to explore. Helicopter pilots are taken care of here as well. They've got the helicopter facility. I'll leave that for you to explore. And there's also the ski jump, which I believe is out here. There's lots for you to see coming into Innsbruck on 26 on a day like this. It's really, really nice. What about the price? Price I think is excellent. Just under 22 euros including tax. Just under $24 US, or just under 19 quid. With the tax at 20%. It's really, really good. And the good news is, for those of you who are getting into Flight Simulator 2024, the new simulator, this scenery is listed as being fully compatible with it. So you get that, no extra cost. You don't have to buy the scenery again. That's good for Inibuilds. Kudos to the guys for doing that. I think it's great. But yeah, the scenery is wonderful. It's a big step up, I think, from the ORBX version, and well worth the price. if you want to experience it. I mean, Innsbruck is a beautiful place, and the airport is a real challenge. And yeah, I'm going to fly in here and just see how the frame rate is flying the Phoenix in. As you can see, it does stutter a bit near the terminals, but you know, the airport is wonderful. It's really good. No complaints at all. Oh, the only complaint, well, not complaint really, on the NAVAIDS situation, the runway end identifier lights, the two white lights are missing from this end of the runway, and the touchdown zone lighting at both ends is also missing. There's a shortened version at runway 8, and you have full touchdown zone lighting as per the charts here on runway 26, which is missing. However, it's a wonderful scenery, highly recommended. Hope you've enjoyed this and had a good look. So this is Innsbruck Airport in Austria, Lima Oscar Whiskey India. It's a payware scenery by Inibuilds. This is the latest version 1.1 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. Download comes in at 3.43 gigs, installs at 5.4 gigs. Available for both SimMarket and the Inibuilds store. The prices are the same. €21.59, which equates to roughly $23.39 US, or £18.16 UK. US and UK prices are estimates taken from the euro, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on where you live when you buy the scenery. And once again, this is MS Flight Sim 2024 Compatible. So there you are, folks, another stunning scenery. Can't believe I've waited so long to review this. It's a really nice product at a very competitive price. Shed loads of work gone into it. Kudos to Inibuilds for such a nice product. It really sort of screams quality at you. And yeah, it's great. I can't recommend it highly enough. So you guys, thanks for watching. Thank you for putting up with my delays. I do apologise. The last month, 5 weeks or so, has not been terribly good for me with the illness, and just basically I've slowed down quite a lot. But I'm hoping to get back to whereas we've got loads of sceneries to review, and we're going to start looking at those as well. We've got Riyadh in Saudi Arabia to look at, amongst others, and yeah, I'm going to try and get some more in. Haven't managed to update the website yet, but hopefully I'm going to do that in a bit. December probably will be busy, but I still hope to produce some videos for you. So to my subscribers and my viewers, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Happy to respond to anything in the comments. Let me know what you think. So my name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Safe flying, and if you attempt to fly in here, be careful. Bye for now.